Since his death in 1979, John Wayne has largely remained a celebrated Hollywood legend. From the airport named after him in California to his birthday being considered a holiday by many of his admirers, John Wayne has gotten no shortage of recognition. Recently, many have called into question whether the star deserves the posthumous status he's retained. Join facts as we take a look at whether or not John Wayne was actually a horrible person all along. In 1971, less than a decade before his death, John Wayne gave an interview to Playboy magazine that left a major dent in his legacy. Even at the time, many took umbrage with some of the negative remarks that John was caught saying regarding both the issue of white supremacy and whether or not it was okay to be gay. Both then and in the years since, many have attributed John's flippant remarks about the issues of race and sexuality to the fact that the actor was known for his old-fashioned ideals. But others have become decreasingly interested in letting the Hollywood legend off the hook for expressing what were widely considered to be backwards ideas even at the time. By the time John Wayne gave his notorious Playboy interview in 1971, he was already a star who was nearing the end of his days. The legend had experienced a career in Hollywood that was relatively unmatched, despite the fact he was gradually becoming less and less likable due to his stubborn, old-fashioned values and hatred of Hollywood's increasing liberalism and homosexuality. In 1968, John Wayne had starred in and co-directed the oft-derided feature The Green Berets, which was considered to be a glaringly obvious piece of pro-war propaganda even at the time. The film was meant to increase patriotic fervor amongst the masses during the Vietnam War, similar to what John had been tasked to do by the government during World War II. But people weren't quite as receptive to pro-war propaganda by the time The Green Berets came out, which only served to highlight many of the other issues the public had begun taking with John's persona. The 1971 interview had come at a time when people were already beginning to question just how much America needed a hero like John Wayne, and the problematic aspects of his attitudes have only become more obvious in the years since. After John's death, he maintained a significant legacy due to the contributions he had made to the entertainment industry. Despite the fact that many agreed John's views were problematic and that there was no longer a place for pro-war propaganda in the media, many still viewed John in a positive light due to the nostalgia they felt when his films came on. Some of the remnants of John Wayne that still linger include John Wayne Airport in Orange County. It was named for him after his death and still remains that way. This stands in spite of numerous pushes made by local residents to have the name of the airport changed. Those who support the name staying the same believe that John Wayne's contributions to the entertainment industry and the state of California don't deserve to be overlooked just because John expressed the values of his time. Conversely, those who support a name change believe there are simply many other less problematic and equally important historical figures that the airport could be named after instead. In 2020, leaders of Orange County's Democratic Party ushered in an emergency resolution calling for the renaming of the airport in the wake of a recent resurgence of the negative remarks found in his 1971 Playboy interview. Of course, the issue of America's lingering white supremacy has only become more pertinent in the years since John's death, and this call for renaming the airport mirrors numerous other incidents throughout the world where landmarks celebrating historical figures with problematic pasts have been removed. Although John Wayne Airport still remains known by the legend's name, this victory is just one small battle for the actor's tenuous legacy in Hollywood. There's still the matter of his birthday, which has been routinely rejected the status of a holiday by California's government, despite being given the status in Texas. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to hit the like button to show your support, and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already, and stick around for a lot more about John Wayne. Before John Wayne's death in 1979, the airport was simply known as Orange County Airport. While some have called for the airport to be named after a less problematic figure from Orange County's history, others have simply called for a reversion back to the original name. As we mentioned, the Hollywood legend's birthday is considered a holiday in the state of Texas, and John Wayne-loving Californians believe the actor's legacy is equally important in California, if not more so. Despite this, the liberal government of California believes that, even if they can't change the name of the airport, giving the actor's birthday the status of a holiday would be sending too much of the wrong idea to its citizens. There have been numerous pushes to have John Wayne Day be recognized in California, just as there have been numerous pushes to have the airport renamed. While none of these measures have been successful, both wars will continue to be waged. In the meantime, the public can take a look at John Wayne's notorious 1971 Playboy interview and the remarks contained within to try to decide for themselves whether the man deserves to have a positive or negative connotation. The interviews that were published were derived from 8 hours of recorded footage, where the actor laid bare a great deal. While much of the information John shared was innocuous trivia, hidden amongst the 8 hours of footage were some decidedly unwholesome remarks about black people, homosexuals, and Native Americans. Beyond specific derogatory remarks, there was a pervading tone of white supremacy that couldn't be ignored, binding all the actor's ideals. John Wayne expressed the civil rights battles being waged at the time didn't make any sense to him because he believed that black people were only disadvantaged by their own lack of intellect. According to him, black people were given every opportunity in 1971 to get an education if they desired. It's just that they didn't have what it took to be held to the same educational standards as their white counterparts. According to John, there were standards put in place to determine if black people were intelligent enough to attain positions of power equal to white people, and they had yet to academically reach that bar. Because of this, he believed black people still had a ways to go before they truly achieved equality, even though they already had it. While there has arguably been progress made in the name of racial equality in the years since his interview, the fact of the matter is 1971 was a time when segregation had only recently ended, and it was only several years after the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. Many have forgiven John's negative remarks regarding the black community due to the actor's overall old-fashioned ideals, while others have said the remarks were a negative reaction to the current political climate and civil rights victories that John Wayne was seeing won around him. Besides saying he believed white supremacy was valid until black people were capable of being as educated, John Wayne also expressed he felt no guilt about slavery. According to him, it had nothing to do with him whether or not black people had been imprisoned. Regarding the issues of the subjugation of Native Americans, Wayne expressed even more problematic views. Not only did he feel no guilt about it, he felt it was deserved. According to him, Native Americans were simply greedy people who wanted more land than they knew what to do with. And finally, when speaking about the then-recent film Midnight Rider, John Wayne used a disparaging gay slur to refer to its two protagonists. John Wayne's son, Ethan, has defended his father's use of the slur, saying John just wasn't happy about the direction Hollywood was going in. Now it's time to hear from you. Do you think John Wayne's image should be tarnished by this 1971 interview? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.